We just went live just now,
Okay.
and so there's no way for us to know what's going on.
That's weird.
Yeah, we're live now.
Oh, it's sweet.
You ready?
Yeah. I got my coffee just got done because we're slacking. We've been talking for like 30 minutes before the live chat. Let me just get
your coffee.
You get your coffee. Idiot. Bossing me around.
Hurry up.
I'm trying.
All right. Do you have to go? Do you have to go potty?
Yeah.
Go.
I just peed. I just did the pee thing. Look, I'm only right here. The coffee maker is right here.
Get your coffee. Get your coffee. All right. All right. Welcome to the Shut Up and Ride podcast, where we interview. Yes, all you out there that are watching this get to ask questions. Interview mostly mountain bikers, free riders, and generally cool people. And I have a person that fits all three of those bills tonight. You want to ask a question? Then cobble together a couple of sentence fragments in the comments, and we will certainly get to those so Kevin can answer those. I've never been a big fan of watching interviews if they don't include all the people watching as well. So that's what we're going to do. This week's guest, I'm very happy and very lucky to have this person. This is Kevin from Steady Spin, and you know who this guy is. Kevin, why don't you introduce yourself now that you went potty and have your coffee?
Yeah, I'm feeling great about it. So my name's Kevin. I run a content channel called Steady Spin that's going to be advocacy for mountain biking and getting out and about in nature and doing things and not be inside. And one day, hopefully it's 2021, I'll be the Kevin that rides bikes, and I've been having this dream for 8 years now, and it's coming into reality.
That's awesome. Well, my format is these questions right here. And the first set is going to be this. What kind of mountain bikes do you have?
Currently, right now, what I have is what I have right now is I have a downhill bike. I have a Glory downhill bike. So it's like 200 millimeter travel front and back. And I've got my Bronson, which is an all mountain. Those are the only mountain bikes I have right now. But I also have a cyclocross bike, a road bike, and a fixed gear bike.
Yeah, let's back up a little bit. All right. We have to figure out why you're called Steady Spin. I know you're a roadie from way back in the day. Tell people about your history on two wheels.
So where did this start? I was a BMX rider in my early 20s. Then I moved to Florida and then got into single speed bikes. And then that related out to have a new outlet. Instead of drinking all the time, I rode a road bike and started training and racing. And then there was a need for a team in South Florida for people that were under the age of 50 and didn't speak Spanish, or a junior. There was this big void in the middle. So I put together and I said, hey, I think I can make a team out of this, because I had a bunch of people riding with from the critical mass scene in Fort Lauderdale. And from that, went on to form a team, and Steady Spin was the name. And this all came because I wanted to have a team of my own in road biking.
Hang on. I have more questions from that. So I know that you're a really good roadie. I know that. Which to me indicates a very good athlete. Did you do other sports in your youth?
No. I kind of was just like a hellraiser as a teenager and going right into the workforce after that. So never was really in any sports, and just kind of naturally could be above average or at par with other people doing stuff at the time, but never took any sports serious. So
you got a varsity letter in high school at hellraising?
Yeah, if I would have made it all the way through high school, probably. You know what I mean?
All-American.
I dipped out and got a GED and just joined the workforce and just went at life.
Let's do this. What was your first mountain bike? How'd the transition happen? What was your first mountain bike?
My first mountain bike, I moved out of Florida and then moved back to Georgia. And when I did that, I didn't want a mountain bike in Florida because it was flat and it really I just was different than road biking. I didn't want to do it. I didn't like what was going on. and I bought an $800 bike from Seth. Diamondback release. It was the gray one. It was a size small, and I took that bike and rode it and carried on. And from there, then I went to Downhill Park with Alex from Single Track Sampler, and I was just like hooked. I remember leaving there and being like, I'm never going to do this again. It's super crazy. And now it's definitely much different. So I rode that Diamondback release.
Oh, wait a minute. None of this makes sense because.
What do you mean? That was the entry to mountain biking. I went to a downhill park.
I understand that. I saw you on a video jump higher than anyone I ever saw, and I think it was on a Seth's channel, maybe yours. And you landed, and your butthole hit the back tire and pulled your pants off. I mean,
that definitely happened. I overshot the step up by like 20 feet. You don't even clear.
I understand that. No one goes from an $800 mountain bike to whatever that height was, and I don't even want to guess that. How do you get that? I mean, you fear things, right?
I do fear things. So I decided. So how this really, how I see it, and like how it happened from the back here. Now that I see it from the outside, is that I ran into some money. I did really well at work. And I said, you know what? I've never been on an adventure and really a road trip or anything. I've always just kind of go with the flow, very mainstream. So I said, I wanted to get better and I wanted to progress where everybody was out. And that's how that Florida road trip started. I bought the truck I wanted. I bought the bike that I wanted. And I was going to go and become a better mountain biker, car camping, adventuring, just experiencing life. And after that month and a half, almost 2 months on the road for that road trip, I came back like just a phenomenal mountain biker because I went all the way through Florida and hit every feature at every park that had something to hit. I went and did it. There's a few features I skipped, but not many.
Yeah. Hey, let me fix this. Generally, I would call bullshit on anyone that I've ever heard say that, but I've seen you on video and it's unbelievably impressive. Let's get back to my show, my questions.
Okay, I was trying to look at the questions and I don't have my phone plugged in. I was trying to pull them up on my end as well.
Not a problem. I got them right here. All right. Ever regret selling a mountain bike? Or any bike?
Yeah, I do. It's not like a mountain bike. It was actually the swing bike. So I regret selling that bike. And this guy, we call him White Steve. He's like does boats in Fort Lauderdale because there's a black Steve, so he was White Steve. Very, very white guy. Very, very white guy. And it was a swing bike that swiveled in the middle. It was called a king swing. So underneath the post, it would pivot all the way. So I got that from, I think it was Johnny. Can't remember his name off the top of my head right now. And he's going to hate me. I remember, I can't know why, but he had a swing bike. He's like, the frame's bent and you can have it though if you want it. But you got to put it together. If you're not going to fix it, then I'm not going to give it to you. And I was like, all right, I'll do it. So I went and bought a beach cruiser from Walmart for $100 because all the parts would transfer over. And I heated up the frame of the swing bike with a torch and then pried it apart straight so it would swing again. And this swing bike was just so much fun. I loved it so much. It even got stolen. And then I found somebody riding it like 3 blocks from my house. It was some kid. And I like hopped out of my car. It was like, oh, it's my fucking bike. I ran over there and this kid was like, yo, it's this kid's bike's the son. I was like, well, it's my bike, so what you can do?
Here's a question. Did you just fucking ruin my monetization on that last comment?
What did I say? Did I say something wrong?
No, it's perfect.
Did I cuss? Is that what happened?
No, it didn't happen. Here's a question. Do you name your mountain bikes or any bikes?
No, not really, because I don't treat them correctly enough to name them. I just beat on them.
All right. Are 26-inch wheels dead?
No, because I just went to the Riveter in North Carolina. Just opened up there. It's a jump park, and I couldn't clear stuff on my trail bike. And then I hopped on a 26-inch transition PB&J DJ jumper on 26-inch wheels. It was blasting 6-7 foot up off the jumps. First run.
So are you a gearhead? Are you a gearhead? I mean, are you a gear chaser?
Not really in the mountain bike scene. I'm getting more and more of an idea about how that's going to work for the cameras and lighting and stuff like that, more for the editing and video development side. I am a gearhead like that. I was a gearhead when I was a road biker. That's why I like a super expensive road bike. Now,
Well, let me tell. Congratulations, by the way, on your box deal. And
yeah, I love that. I
tell
really
people, Box is an impressive company. Tell people about your box stuff and how that happened.
So I have to give credit.
And what Box is.
So Box originally was a company that did BMX components, and then they shifted over and jumped into the drivetrain game. Seth knows the story better than anybody and has told this story, but they got into the drivetrain and they decided that going back, as far as their latest product line they're presenting out, is going back from this like crazy 12-speed situation and going back into 9, where it's more durable, it's longer lasting, you have a little bit more forgiveness in between the gears if something does happen. And I enjoy that because I'm on breaking 12-speed chains. So that's where I kind of involved with them, was the Prime 9. And then I talked to him, I did some videos, and we kind of linked up. And now I'll be riding for them in 2020 as one of their riders. And it's an absolute pleasure to be working with somebody that wants to support and carry on with the channel and what I'm doing.
It looks like such, I don't know, it's just good looking stuff. It looks like it lasts a long time. And being 9 is a really, really, really good idea for, I think, 99% of all people.
I never noticed any difference in the gearing. Believe it or not, everybody asks me, they're like, do you miss the gears? That's the biggest question I get. Not if it's reliable or any of that. Just, do you miss having 12 to 9? You don't even notice it. You're on the bike, you're pedaling, I'm out there having a good time. There were people that were running Ramble Rampage on rigid bikes at one point. So, like, sometimes people got to quit being so soft and wanting more gears to make it easier and easier and easier. No. If you're out there, you're going to find the right gear and you're going to make it happen. And I think Prime 9 is a great choice. It's been amazing.
All right, let's say you start your own mountain bike company. What's it called? Is it called Steady Spin?
Started by what would I sell though?
Started by you.
Huh?
What do you call you start a mountain bike company? What do you call it?
Yeah, what's my product though? Am I like
mountain bike?
I'm selling an actual mountain bike, like physical bike company.
What do you mean? What's your product?
Well, you could do apparel. You could do apparel. You could do doing content. You could have a variety of things if you were a bike company, whatever.
Okay.
Like Box does components, like suspension with Cane Creek. I just got to figure it out.
That's fair. I'll just give you shit. Let me read it again. You start a mountain bike company. What do you call it?
I believe you said that exactly the same the first time.
I did.
If I had to.
So you're not thinking just frames. And I appreciate your answer. You're thinking big picture of the whole thing.
Yeah, the big picture. If I was going to have a bike company and I wanted to name it something, maybe something like Progression Party. I like 2 names, setups. And then the bike company would be Progression Party. And it would definitely about progressing, because you can progress in any type of cycling. So, and you could
would you make a low end bike?
Huh?
And I don't mean to say low end, but would you go top to bottom? Because we talked about that when we were off air. And I was very impressed that you were talking about understanding that there's a top end and a low end, and that everyone deserves what they should get.
I think that you should. Well, it's cost efficient. Like, there's a bunch of companies out there doing different things that make it cost efficient. I think there's a middle ground that we should come to. If you see across the bikes, every type of bike is pretty much the same cost at a certain level. It doesn't matter the suspension. It's just that's it is. There's a $5,000 C bike. Here's a $5,000 enduro bike. Here's a $5,000 whatever bike setup. I think having them fully upgradable is a big thing. I don't think that you should do low end where you can't fix derailleur hangers, or you don't have like
No, that's really well said, because it leads me right into my next question, which is what needs to change in the mountain bike industry?
The expectation that like this newest, I think the gears thing is really silly, because there's just like more and more gears. More and more gears is not the answer. I think I think everything's going in the right direction. I don't think it would change anything. I think that now that I've gotten into the industry at this point, the geometry is changing like it should change. And I'm wondering why it didn't happen before I got here. Not because I got here, it was me or anything like that. But like the difference in the bikes that were 2018 versus 2020, the geometries are so different. And like, that's good because it's adjusting to what the riding is really happening rather than like, this is how it's going to be. They're being more progressive and adjusting them for every bike for a certain purpose, just like every tool in the toolbox has a different purpose.
That's a great answer. Worst injury ever. All right. In fact, I'll give you, because I know you're a former roadie, and I just can't stop picturing you in Lycra.
So
Worst. Let's go Lycra first. What's your worst roadie injury?
So it's probably gonna be two. There's two of them that stand out off the top of my head. I was in a crit race at Brian Piccolo Park. It was when I first started road bike racing, and I went around the hairpin turn at the crit, and my tubular peeled off. Anybody that wants tubulars, it's your own choice. I don't recommend it. They are lighter because they're all one piece. So it rolled off the rim, and I slid sideways. So my right foot. So I'm on my right side. My right foot is dragging the asphalt across. It went through my carbon shoe, and it ate into the side of my foot. Now, every time I put on shoes that have clips on them, the right side of my foot has like a 20-minute transition time still from that incident. That would be one.
You know what,
and then the other one
say about that?
Huh?
Better you than me.
Oh yeah, it was.
That sounds really awful.
And then on the road bike again, I went around a turn with the wind on my back. Now, I really liked cornering. That was my thing. But instead of doing 30, or let's say 25, I was doing like 35, pedaling in the biggest gear and not realizing with the wind on my back. So I'm cooking. And I went around this turn and I realized I wasn't going to make it. And I was like, okay, here we are. Went ahead and coming towards the curb, picked up on the front wheel and tried to slow down as much as possible, and then smacked the curb and flew up in the air and landed with my leg on the edge of the curb, like the cut of the curb was my quad first, and I had a bruise on it for probably like 2 months straight. And I'm just happy I didn't break my leg in half.
I'm not sure. I'm going to ask this question to the next person. I saw my friend Ken, and like, we're not watching it on YouTube, we're watching it on StreamYard. I see my friend Ken, and he blew up his collarbone twice. And so, all right, let's hear your best mountain bike injury other than having your butthole scrubbed off in that previous jump I was talking about.
That was one of my least favorite things when I do that. Something about getting over the back of the bike. I keep doing it on my other bike too. I don't know. I got to figure out what I'm doing wrong. But I would say worst two mountain bike crashes are going to be, I've had a few concussions, but they weren't too bad.
You got knocked off of YouTube for a little bit, didn't you, for a concussion?
Yeah. It definitely.
I remember that.
I quit wearing enduro style helmets because I think they build false confidence for the protection you're getting. But that's my personal opinion. People love their enduro helmets, whatever. When I put on a full face, it's like strapping on the cape, and I'm just ready to go. And it's just different safety that you get out of an enduro helmet. Worst injury, I would say so far, probably my MCL that I tore when I went over some dirt jumps, and I just didn't even, it was like a silly jump. And I came off the back of the bike and I sat on my leg and it snapped it, or like almost tore it all the way through. And that was like a good 3-month downtime. And I took an absence from YouTube, and I did that when I did like some on the lift interviews and stuff like that. And I was a snowshoe and all those things were going on. That one wasn't.
I've seen your interviews though, because a lot of times I see YouTubers try to do that, and they're very thoughtful. I like listening to you interact with other YouTubers. Let me ask you this, and maybe this will destroy your channel altogether. Will you ever own an MTB, a pedal assist?
I think they have a place. I think they have a place right now. They're not allowed in the national forests and stuff where I like to ride, because there's a sign in the gate that goes across that says no motorized vehicles. And that's the line to be drawn. And the complication is, where do you draw that line once you break that line? Or you try to readjust it? So I will have an e-bike at one point. Like, you ever seen Sam Pilgrim on his e-bike? You ever seen He's just
Thank
an
you.
animal. That guy's crazy though. He's like one of my like the crazy people I like to watch. Also Jared's place. Jared and Ray, they both have e-bikes and they're sending it. And like, there's a place for them. There's always good arguments about why you should or shouldn't have one or where they should or shouldn't be allowed. I don't think you should limit people from doing things. I think I don't know. It's a touchy topic. I'm gonna have one day for sure, no doubt. Because if you could do like some long day adventuring, and I could go like some crazy long route, and like physically I wouldn't be able to, or like need to camp overnight, or I just want to do some adventure. I'm gone for a couple days or something like that. Imagine if you could carry a solar panel in your backpack, and you could recharge this battery anytime you want, or while you're riding, it's charging, or whatever. You could do some really cool adventures and not need a gas powered vehicle. I'm all for it.
Agreed. I think the real problem for EMTB is the fact that they come out with these little e-motorcycles, and legislators lump them in with a pedal assist bike, and all of a sudden it's like, well, we got to get these out of here, when there's a giant difference. All right, let me make a little announcement here. All right, anyone viewing, start thinking of your questions for Kevin. Don't forget, Kevin's IG, his Instagram, his Facebook, his Patreon is in there. And I'll tell you something, and I'm always true about this. I follow Kevin on Instagram, and he does it right. It's not like 78 posts a day, like, okay, get it. It's a really great balance. And don't forget that Patreon is, I don't really want to go into it. Maybe someday I will. But I can tell you that if you really want good content, that it is the lifeblood of a lot, if not all, really good YouTubers like Kevin. So start thinking of questions that you want for Kevin. And I'm going to go through these quickly and then get to my viewers' questions. What are you not very good at?
What I'm not very good at? There's two sports that I failed at. No, there's only one sport that I actually failed at, and that's going to be kiteboarding. I couldn't figure out how to use my feet and the kite at the same time. As soon as I had to focus on the kite, bam, and like I just couldn't get it. So I suck at kiteboarding.
That's hilarious.
Yeah,
I kiteboard like 70 days a year.
So somehow I couldn't get I've just never been in good control of my feet. Like I can skate, inline skate, stuff like that, but skateboarding and like doing tricks, I just didn't have the function with my feet, and having to like pivot my feet and put pressure on them and having knee problems and like the kite, like, dude, I tried. Let me just tell you, that is the only sport that I have tried and couldn't get. Like, I'm at least average at everything, if not better. And kiteboarding,
that's a headline. Like, Florida man can't kite surf, and old 60-year-old shreds on a kiteboard.
I went flying across A1A attached to that harness and I'm glad that there was a palm tree that I went swinging around like this. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. But you know what? If I would have been good at kiteboarding, I never got into cycling. So
there. What else are you bad at?
Something else I'm bad at.
You said two things.
Slow tech. I don't like slow tech. I'm a bulldozer. I want to carry momentum through things. So if you're going so slow that you're in like the 48 or 50 and you're going through tech, I'm not there. I'm not your dude. I'm gonna try to jump over it or smash through it, and the cost of blowing out my wheels before I'll go slow through it.
All right, this is the hardest question I found out so far. Jordan Boostmaster was my last guest, and he was an awesome guest as you are. So I'm going to read this slow. Tell me something that you think is true that almost nobody agrees on.
The way to jump things. I feel like even Seth, everybody argues with me, and it's just my style. I think that when you do jumps, your best case scenario is to over jump it and land it flat.
As opposed to what does Seth think?
They kind of like dial it back where it's like they want to get it and clear it, and they're not thinking about overshooting it. But when you have the mindset to overshoot it to flat, and you're just committed to whatever's going to happen, like the jump at Windrock, I was just committed to going to flat, and I traveled an extra 20 feet more than usual people.
By the way, did you destroy that bike?
No.
Really?
No. It's got there's a dent in the bottom of the frame, but besides that, it's great. I actually upgraded it to a boxer fork, and I've got Kodar brakes on it. It's got Cush core. It's just single speed. I still got it. When you get on a downhill bike, you're stepping up. Like if you're a dice roller and you're gonna push it on the progression side, you grab a downhill bike, and you are gonna get it's gonna get reckless. You're like 5 to 10 miles an hour faster through features. So the danger factor immediately goes up when I get on a downhill bike.
What's your superhero name? If you're a superhero, what is it?
Superhero name.
Holy shit! I sent you these pre-questions.
I know. I didn't come up with it. I was all trying to pull them up, and you told me to wait. I was trying to pre-look at them, and you decided not to pull them up.
Here's easy. What's your superhero power?
I'd probably be able to fly.
Yeah, that's a good one.
What
are you curious about right now?
I'm curious what is at hand. I feel like everything's on an accelerated rate in the snowball effect of panning out on things that I'm doing. So I'm just really open to everything. I'm anticipating. I'm actually just got a first sponsored trip. I got sponsored by Flow Life to come out and check out Spider Mountain in Texas. So I'll be traveling there next month to see that park and check it out and check out some new gear they have coming out with.
Nice, because I was going to say I was supposed to ride there with Eric from No Front Brakes, Cobra Kyle, and best YouTube name ever.
That's pretty
Cobra
good.
Kyle. And then it rained.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, let's keep going. What personal trait has got you into the most trouble?
You got me in the most trouble? Probably the eagerness to like pushing the pace on progression. Like I always want to do a little bit better. And it's really weird that when I do some of these big features, it's like a check, like a bucket list thing in my mind. Like I'm always ready for the next thing. So it's hard for me to celebrate when I do a big feature or do something big. Because I'm like, all right, that's gone. What's next? And that'll get me in trouble pretty quick.
All right. I'm going to have the people ask you questions, but the last question on this is cake or pie?
Pie, and I want it to be heated up the correct way. Do you know the correct way to heat up a piece of pie?
Go and tell me, Florida man.
Okay, so Florida man heats up pie.
I had no idea there was a correct way to heat up pie.
Yeah, because you have to understand you already have the pie and it needs to be heated up. But you don't really need to nuke it in the microwave, right? It's not what you want to do. So what you do is you put it on a griddle with a little piece of butter, and the griddle's hot, right? And then you put a top on it. So as that butter's cooking on top of it, on the edges of it, the ice is creating the steam, and you're actually heating it up by steam, so it refluffs the crust on it, the top layer.
The first time ever on my channel anyone ever said refluff.
Yeah, yeah. Watch. Next time you have a pie at your house, you should try it. And you come back and tell me that didn't work. Amazing. I learned that from somebody at Waffle House. You ever been to a Waffle House?
God, yes.
So like that's where some old lady was like, "Oh, we're gonna heat you up some pie. You want some pie, baby? Baby, you want some pie? Let me go and heat you up some pie the right way." And did you
see the Anthony Bourdain on Waffle House?
No, I'm surprised that it's on there.
So good. Let me see if this works here.
Do you know that they sell more steak than anybody? Waffle House? The corporation of Waffle House sells more steaks than any other steak selling corporation in America.
Really?
Yeah, it's on the wall. Every one of them has it on the wall.
All right, here's my friend Ken, Arizona Dirt Life. Are you going to Sedona Mountain Bike Festival?
I was gonna try. I'm gonna try to. I don't have any arrangements to do that now, but I was gonna try to get out there. Probably not, but I'm still working on it. You never know what's gonna happen 1st of March, so we'll see.
And here's his smart-ass question. Worst road injury was the mental scars from shaving my legs. Did you shave your legs?
I'm not hairy. Like, I don't know if you guys can see this, but I'm like super unhairy. So like There's nothing. There's nothing anywhere.
It's too much. Too much. I'm trying to get back to monetization here.
It's overrated. Unless it goes viral, it's overrated.
It would be awesome.
This could have been the one, though.
So here's my friend Cobra Kyle, who, by the way, we're all invited to his wedding with an open bar.
Where's that? What's that?
So this answers the question: are you going to go to Spider Mountain?
Yeah, I'm gonna actually give a date. I'm gonna give a date that I'm gonna be there right now. So if anybody in my Texas following wants to maybe be at Spider Mountain while I'm there, I should be there the weekend of the 20th to the 23rd. That's all I can say. 20 to 23rd, I'll be at Spider Mountain. Sometime that week.
This guy always asks great questions. So Workhorse MTB, how bummed out is Bobo about his shoulder?
He's being pretty positive. He's actually, I think it's a good thing. Now that I'm learning, so like I'm just in the beginning games of this, and like seeing he is actually a filmmaker, went to college for it, taught it, and all these other people have gone really far into the game, much further than I am. So I'm like playing catch up, just trying to see where everybody's at. And having the challenge of having a different creative outlet and it not being the main thing he has been doing, I think it's been great. And I hope everybody sees the extra effort that he's been putting into his videos, because just go back a couple videos and you'll see that he just stepped up the game like ridiculously with his editing. And it's just really like a lot more. Not that there was anything wrong with it before, but he was allowed to step back and have more time to work and do like the more creative stuff. So I think it's great. It sucks that he's hurt. He's been in like 4 months, but it's an opportunity to be more creative. And you always do your best when you're in a challenging situation. So
yeah, that last one he did, like that Planet Earth like one, that was baller. Really well done.
So there you go. It's I always try to turn everything into a positive. Always try to turn into a positive, and the opportunity to fine-tune your skills, put more tools in the bag, and try to mix things up, the better in any professional format.
All right, only 3 questions left, and I have to get dinner because I'm really hungry and old.
What are you gonna have? I'm gonna have leftover lasagna.
I don't know what I'm having. What's your favorite word?
Yep.
That's your favorite word is yep.
Yep.
A 3-letter, 1-syllable word.
Yeah, because with that, you kind of just agree and you don't have to go any further into a lot of things, and people just like smile and nod them yep. Because a lot of times I'll just get caught and haven't explained so much stuff all the time. Sometimes I just play dumb and I smile and go, yep. Yep.
All right, hang on. Ty Rides asked you, when are you going to get a gravel bike for the off season? In my opinion, the perfect blend of road and MTB.
Hey, Bailey, have you put my chain back on my gravel bike yet? Yep, still out of commission.
Let me tell you something. Bailey would have been a lot better interview than you.
Yeah.
I don't know, Bailey.
Bailey, you want to come into this? Do you want to say hello real quick?
Hi.
I mean, I don't know. What do you want to? She said, hey.
Hi, Bailey. All right, what's your favorite?
She's right here. She's got some the edge, whatever. Huh?
What's your favorite curse word?
Probably the F word. I try not to use it.
Look. You've already demonetized this video. Go ahead, say it.
Sometimes I'm having a good time, and I just like to say fuck. All right? Like, it's not intentional. I'm not going to say it to anybody's kids. I'm not going to do it, but I do like it. It's good. I think everybody should do it and say it sometimes just because it feels good,
Fair enough. Last question. Well, and before I ask this question, I mean it. Don't forget to look at Kevin's Instagram, Facebook, Patreon, especially Patreon. Seriously, none of this YouTube stuff happens without that. If Patreon hadn't happened, I'm not saying people would have given up, but you just can't. It's not sustainable without it.
Yeah, for sure. I think the Patreon thing, and the thing I really like about the Patreon is that I'm not asking for anything. You know what I mean? And I think it's a platform where people can support, and if they really like what I'm doing and they like the content, that's been motivating or helpful or anything like that, and that it's a way they feel they can give back, it's great. Simple as that. You know what I mean? And I'm not asking, but if you feel supported, you feel great, and you want to give something back to the channel, that's a great avenue. It's easy and simple.
Well said. Last question. What profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
I think I would like to get into some type of troubled teen mentoring. It sucks because I really would like to give back, and I had some weird experiences or troubles along the way, and I'm just not the school type. So getting into that field really taught because everybody learns a different way. But I would love to get into the profession of helping troubled teens, and even if it's like a Boys and Girls Club or whatever it may be. I would love to do some mentoring on a professional level somehow.
Very admirable. Well, Kevin, thank you so much for. I know that this was a time crunch for you. Thanks for being here, and thanks for all the people for the questions. And
we covered one topic. We were chit chatting before, and I was wondering, can we cover on one topic that we kind of chit chatted about?
Sure.
Tell me. You mentioned about how the industry is changing in the swing of things with how people are undervaluing content creators, YouTubers across the board. Just content creators is what I would put it at. And
you know my opinion on that.
So, I've had people say that they're like, "Oh, well, you're just taking from the writers' money, this, that, and the other," and I don't think it's that way. I think that you're always going to
hang on. Let me set this up. So I was talking to Kevin before we came on, and I was talking about Kevin has a great box sponsorship, and Cane Creek as well, and those are big names. And I said, do you feel like you're taking away from, let's say, a writer? And so that's what started this conversation.
Yeah, for sure. So I don't feel like I ever would want to be in a position of taking from the riders. The pro riders are doing things that, like, you don't even understand the risks they're taking. They're risking the biscuit every race, and it's just ridiculous how fast they're really going. You don't know how fast they're going until you can compare yourself to their time and where they're shaving it and where they're pushing it. And I think coming in as a content creator, I'm not coming in to take anything from an athlete sponsorship. I'm coming in at an angle of advertising because I have a platform that's been created that has the exact same market in which these bike industry companies have, and like the market, like, are you marketing? I have a platform that markets between people that are 18 and 45. Any bike company out there tell me that they're not marketing to the male income between 45,000 and 150,000 between the ages of 18 and 45.
Well said.
So
exactly.
Because I think the riders are always pushing the top side of the sport. You're going to need the riders that are sponsored and getting out and do these things. Like my roommate is a privateer mountain bike downhill racer. He's going to some World Cups, and he's doing it privateering, and it definitely costs. It costs to get these places. It costs to go these places. It costs to be part of what I like to call the shit show, because it's so crazy when you ride these people. You ride with a pro rider, and you think you're quick, and they just leave you, and they're risking it so much. So I think, and we also need people that are going to be on the bottom end, like, hey, check out this bike. This is an entry-level bike. I can't sell you on the bike that my roommate rides because he's a pro downhiller. You're not going to be able to handle that bike. But I can talk to you about an entry-level full suspension bike that I think is great for all around, and it can be your all-around bike for everything you do for the average rider. So
who knew you were so articulate? You're awesome.
Yeah, I try to, like, if I'm passionate about something, I know a lot about it. And
you have your moments.
I have my moments, and then I got my stupid moments too, though. So
no, I'm kidding. You have been an excellent guest. Thank you, Kevin. And maybe when you're passing 100,000 subscribers, which I think you will very soon, because I think you do very, very quality content. So thanks very much, and thanks everyone for listening. And we're out.
Hold on. Don't forget to go to Shut Up and Ride's channel, subscribe to him, check out his social media. He's bringing me to you.
That's what this is all about.
Yeah. Spin on it.
Thanks, Kevin. Talk to you later.
See ya.